Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is August 8th, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the Dow Jones gets a bounce back. But, and we're going to get into that in just a second, no major economic events scheduled for today. Now, this is summer trading. Volume is light. You kind of feel it in the markets. Starting out the Forex symbols, we see the Australian dollar back on its support after getting that dead cat bounce. Now, looking at the indices, the Dow Jones does get a bounce, but is it sustainable? Because the NASDAQ did nothing, not even a bounce. Now, we're going to take a look at that in just a second. Now, looking at the commodities, gold unchanged while oil retracing. Now, looking at the stocks, we're getting mixed bag. When we look at Amazon, nice trip upwards, while Apple continues selling off. Lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We'll start with the Australian dollar once again. We're back on supportish level as we have that dead cat bounce. You can see it so perfectly right here. That is chugging itself along. Now this could develop one or two things. A double bottom here. That could develop as one. Or we may break off. Once we break this off on the downside, this will be a game changer for the Australian dollar. Now, we've done this before around this area. There's congestion around 65.10ish levels, so just be aware of that. We're about 20 pips away from it, so just really be aware of it, okay? This is possibly going to develop into a breakout situation. Now, looking at gold, unchanged here. 1933, 1937 yesterday at the same time, so really not doing much. Crude oil did retrace a bit, about a $0.50. Again, not big kind of news, but it was hitting that resistance there, right? 82, 90-ish level, 83 level is a resistance level, so the fact that it's gone back down about $1.50 to $0.50 is not a big deal. Now, jumping into the U.S. market, the Dow Jones does retrace this morning after having a nice move upwards from 35,100 to 35,500. A nice 400 pip move. The reason is why? Okay, there isn't much of a reason, because if we look at the NASDAQ, didn't do it. It's trading at 15,425, and that is really not much of a change there as the markets bounce, but NASDAQ didn't, which means there's some weakness in the NASDAQ composite. Now, looking at individual stocks. So this is where it gets really like you want to scratch your head. Amazon, gap and go on the upside, while Apple is gap and go on the downside. Now, this is the type of environment that you kind of raise your hands and you say, what am I supposed to do this? Now, when they're trading together, that's easier, okay? Sometimes it's Apple that takes the lead, sometimes Amazon, sometimes it's Google. But right here, we're seeing a divergence in the market, and Apple is selling lower. Now, their fourth quarter is their strongest quarter. We're not there yet. September, October, where we'll be there. So we do have some time for Apple to make a turnaround for the year. However, this does raise a red flag because Apple is one of the largest companies in the world, right? It's such a bellwether that it really makes a big difference here. So continue looking at this. I mean, until there's possibly going to be at 175, there is support level, right? That 200-day moving average, you can see it. Okay, so we are closing in on that. Okay, as we get closer to that, or if we do test that, that would be a possible area that I would look to just, kind of decipher if it's going to bounce off of it or if it's going to break lower. Okay, but you got to have an open mind about this because the markets are kind of digesting what is happening because there's a divergence here. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.